Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls Soul Level 1 with Bloodshot 9001. So, last time we left off, we just got back from the Undead Asylum, and this is where the actual informative part of the series is going to start. I did forget to mention a few things in the first video, or zeroth video, I guess, but I figure this is where the actual information is going to start, although the information I'm going to say is probably a little bit important to have put in the zeroth episode. So, to do a Soul Level 1 playthrough, you need to pick the Pyromancer because he is the only class who starts at level 1. And if you want to do it efficiently, as I've put it, you're going to need to take the Master Key because this lets you get into New Londo Ruins, or it lets you get to Blighttown early. Blighttown's the name of the place in Demon Souls, so I sometimes get them mixed up. But anyways, you're going to want to follow when you get here, after exiting the Undead Asylum, you're going to want to come here and grab the Homeward Bone from this chest, and I believe in this chest there is a Morning Star that you're going to want to use. The Pyromancer does not have good dex. In fact, he has the second lowest of all the classes, tied with another class, I forget which one. So there's only a handful of weapons he can use. One of those weapons is the Morning Star, which does bleed damage, but the reason I'm going to use it for now is because the way it attacks low, and when we go to Blighttown, we're going to have to make use of how it attacks like that. Now, you can skip what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is I'm attacking the skeletons just for a few extra souls, just because souls are nice to have. For some reason my computer's going off. But these aren't really necessary. You don't have to go this way if you don't want to. You can go for the Rite of Kindling right away if you want to. I know there's ways to get that right away. I'm not really going to suggest you go for that, honestly. I don't think it's really worth it or necessary. But if you feel you're going to need the extra amount of... oh no, I should not be missing. If you feel that you need the extra amount of Estus flasks, then I'll say go for it, but I don't think it's really necessary. Just gonna burn these. Oh, really? This skeleton's too spoopy for me. Oh, it's too spoopy. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run. Chug first. Ask questions later. So I'm just gonna skip some of the stuff there. There's a few soul items, the ones that actually give you souls, which are going to be invaluable to us because, especially if this is your first time doing a Soul Level 1 run through, you're probably going to be dying a good amount of times, especially later on. So for those times when you need souls, it's good to have the items handy. But hopefully we won't need all of them. So alright, so once you're done getting your butt handed to you by those skeletons, you're going to want to run down here to the New Londo Ruins once we get there. It's going to take a while. Just going to run here. Don't know what I'm singing. And don't forget, this is crucial to your adventure. Every time you go in an elevator, you gotta twiddle your weapon. It's essential. It is essential to winning this playthrough. And over here, I believe there's more souls, so good. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to unequip all of your items except for Estus in case you need to heal, and your Homeward Bones. So this is going to be stop 1 of about 3, maybe 4. The 4th is kind of optional, but I'll mention it. I won't be doing it, but I'll definitely mention it. You don't have to grab these items like I'm doing. I kind of want to. They might be useful later when I want to sell them, or even use them. But there is one item that is integral to having an easy beginning, and a lot of people do this, so this isn't a secret thing. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run down to New Londo Ruins, and that is the item we're going to want to get over there. It is a Firekeeper Soul, which will allow us to upgrade our Estus flasks to +1, and that will cut down on our Estus usage in the beginning. And what you want to do is just not go the wrong direction like I am. You're going to want to run down here, and as soon as you sprint to it and grab it, you're just going to use your Homeward Bone and return to the bonfire you rested at last, which at this point should just be Firelink Shrine. So you can run back. I have actually been able to run back without dying, but it's kind of difficult, and at least for me it was. And it's just not worth it, because you have 6 Homeward Bones to use in the beginning, and unless you really need to use them later on, you should at least have enough to get you by later on. You don't need an excess amount of them. So now, after you have done that, I probably should actually use the Firekeeper Soul I just got. So don't run down here first. Go upgrade your Estus first, and then run down there. But go over here and reinforce your Estus Flask, and that will put it to +1. Very self-explanatory. And once we get to +2, you don't really need to upgrade to +3, at least for a while. +3 will ensure that you're going to heal even from the lowest amount of health, but even +2s will heal you with just like a sliver remaining, if you're at like no health. But in addition to that, once you get the third, once you just pick up the third Firekeeper Soul, Firelink gets deactivated, and if you're going to rely on Firelink as your main bonfire, you might as well just not even worry about a third Firekeeper Soul. Speaking of which, we have 2 directions to go from here before we have to port back to Firelink. We're going to go left first, because left is the undead dragon who is guarding a Soul of a Proud Knight, some Sword of Astora, which is kind of useless to us because we have no dex, and we won't be able to get that up, but it does have the Dragon Crush shield, which at this stage of the game is going to be a super valuable shield to have, because it will be able to block 100% of the physical damage. So you can slowly pick up both the Astora Straight Sword and the Proud Knight Soul, but for this one, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick up the soul, and then you're going to want to roll or run back, and then just wait a bit. And the zombie dragon should start vomiting there once you're done, because he's very, very, very slow at trying to attack you. If you try to grab the thing and then run back to where toward this bridge, you'll dodge his claw, but his wing will push you off the ledge, and you'll just die from falling off the ledge. So it took me too many tries to understand that, honestly. It was a while before I learned. So remember to just, as long as you hug the wall, you should not be getting hit by him. Ooh, I did not mean to jump there. I meant to roll. I'm gonna take it a little bit slowly here, just so I can actually roll. That was a little bit too much damage for my liking. But you'll see that we heal a good amount with the +1 flasks. And like I said, once we get to +2 later on, we're going to be fine for basically our whole entire journey. And that's not to say we won't get Estus 3. I forgot to equip the shield. So you don't have to beat this guy up, but it is useful to have at least one location where you can kind of set up. And this is the reason I suggest you pick up the Morning Star. If you're using the hand axe, you can only attack these guys with the jumping attack, and to do the lunge attack is just annoying. So, especially when you're trying to aim it against them. Ooh, this is not a good thing. Come on, drink. Okay, this was bad. I really should have equipped myself with the shield. Oh, dang it. Luckily, the other good thing about the Morning Star is that it does have good range on its strong attacks. And like the other weapon we're going to get later on, it attacks straight, and so it's not going to like accidentally hit a wall when you're trying to sweep from the right or left, whichever direction. I guess right. I forgot that left-handedness isn't really a thing until Dark Souls 2. But yeah, so over there in that little cave over there, there is another Firekeeper soul, which if you really think you're going to need, you can go for, and then you can pour it out with a Homeward Bone, but it's not really that important, and there's honestly a few more important things that are just better to have, especially this early. So, again, these are not like things I discovered. These are kind of popular things to get for early runs, but in fact, I don't think I've had a run where I don't get this stuff anymore, to be honest. So, but for those of you who don't know, I figure, I should be showing this. It's not going to be until like the later levels where I start showing the actual like difficult soul level 1 stuff. This is relatively easy compared to what we're going to be doing. So, alright. So for this guy, you can kind of just kick him off or whack him off. He should just kind of fall eventually. If you need to, you can just kind of lock on and block his stuff. There we go. And once he falls, he'll be dead, so you don't have to worry about him. Over here is our second thing we needed, the clothing here. The clothing is very light, but it will provide a lot more defense than our most of our gear gives. The Tattercloth arms do actually give us a little bit more defense, so if you want more defense, just keep those on. You will be a little bit heavier with all of this gear on, the Morningstar, the shield, and the clothing. So if you would rather fast roll, you might want to opt for taking out some of them and replacing them with different things. It depends. Although we will later be fixing this situation once we get to Undeadburg, but that is not until a little bit later. Oh my gosh, these guys are just annoying me now. Please, okay. Wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna like miss that, but you never know with Dark Souls. That's a bit weird and glitchy, but okay. I'm actually glad I caught that on film, because that was just funny. Alright. Try not to get caught in the poison, because that will be bad. We are just gonna pour it out of here anyway, but speaking of which, I'm gonna unequip everything real quick. Oh, or I'm just gonna get beat up from behind. I'm not gonna risk exploring too much. There are a few souls you can pick up, and actually if you go towards where the Dragon Covenant is, you can get a few other items which could be helpful, and if you get all the way down there, you can pick up the Dragon Headstone, and you can get a lot of stuff that's useful. I've not really bothered with that too much just because I don't need to go all the way down there, and I don't want to have to deal with the Hydra, to be honest. But if you feel like you want to get all that stuff, and go for it. But this was the last important thing that we needed, the Poison Mist Pyromancy. With this, we are going to be able to kill Havel really fast, and Havel's Ring, as everybody probably already knows, is one of the most useful things to have for any character. But for a soul level 1 build where you can't increase your endurance or stamina or anything, it's going to be very useful to have. So once you grab all of that stuff, you can just pour it out, or you can go search for some stuff. There are some things like you can get Titanite shards down here, and like I said, some soul items. All of those are going to be useful later on, but they're not important right now, so you don't have to focus too much on that. So, and luckily, porting to here. No, I don't want to do that. I want to untune magic. There we go. Porting with the bone does, quote unquote, automatically rest at a bonfire, but you still need to attune Poison Mist anyway. So, which we could do later on anyway, but whatever. So, with that, we can start our journey to Undeadburg. So, I'm going to kill these guys. From this point on, it's kind of, self-explanatory. Come on. I'll still show you the whole journey. I don't want you guys thinking I'm skipping ahead for anything. There might be a few skips. Definitely if I die, I'll probably skip ahead to where I died to, unless I die again. I'm going to try not to die, but we'll see how that actually goes. I don't think... No, there's ways to not die in Dark Souls. I'm not going to say that, oh, nobody can not die, but, I am not going for a perfect game of Dark Souls, so... If I was, I would have done a lot more research, so... You can grab the souls down there, but again, none of this is really important. We've gotten everything we needed at this point. And even the armor I don't even think we really need. But the armor is very good armor that we will probably be keeping until probably after we defeat Quelaag. But that's another story for another day, I suppose. So I'm going to cut the video short here, and I will see you next time when we tackle Undeadburg.